For a long time, people believed growth was something only children did. A baby learns to walk, a child learns to read, a teenager picks up new skills, and then, once they become an adult, the growing is supposedly finished. Until the 1970s and 80s, that was more or less how researchers saw it. Development meant going from a child to a grown-up, and the story ended there. There was no real idea that an adult could keep developing in any deep way. Then, from the 1990s onward, this changed. A researcher named Robert Kegan asked a simple but powerful question. What does it actually mean for an adult to grow? His answer surprised many people. Adult growth is not about improving your skills or learning to do something you couldn't do before. It is about the development of consciousness, the way you perceive and interpret the world around you. Kegan noticed a hierarchy in how we make sense of things. When people say someone has a high perspective, they are pointing at exactly this. Growth means being able to reinterpret objects, other people, and even yourself at a higher level. And this happens across three areas: how you see physical things, how you understand others, and how you understand yourself. Start with physical things. Imagine a large cup, half full of water, poured into a tiny cup so it fills to the brim. A 3-year-old watching this will believe the water has increased. They cannot yet grasp that moving a liquid from one container to another does not change its amount. To them, what they see is simply the truth. And some adults never fully leave this stage. Believing that whatever you see must be reality is a low level of consciousness. It is why we say, let's talk based on facts, not just on a gut feeling. Now think about other people. A small child whose father breaks a promise to take him to a ball game will simply decide, bad daddy, he breaks promises. The child cannot imagine that something urgent happened at work, or that the father feels terrible about it. As we grow, we learn that other people act from their own beliefs and situations and cannot be controlled the way we want. Yet you can meet a 30-year-old who still thinks, you hurt my feelings, so you are the worst manager. That is a 3-year-old's level of consciousness driven by a strong sense of being the victim. The third area is understanding yourself. Do you like something because you truly love it, or because it is popular and you don't want to be left out? As a child, you might have sworn you would never drink beer, then years later found it delicious. That is fine, tastes change, but some things stay. A person who has always loved teaching at 3 years old and at 46 carries a passion that does not waver. Learning which parts of you are your true core and which parts simply come and go is a huge part of becoming an adult. Kegan called this ability meaning-making capacity. The water in the cup, the father in front of you, the picture you hold of yourself, all of these can be interpreted differently depending on who is perceiving. Growth is the ability to reinterpret every event and relationship outside of yourself at a higher level. This is very different from simply thinking positive. Most people, Kegan found, sit at a stage he called the environment adaptive type. They follow the rules, look after their peers, and move carefully within whatever environment they are given. It is a decent place to be, but you cannot lead an organization from there. A leader needs to become the self-authoring type. Even when others disagree, this person says, for the sake of the market, we have to take on this challenge. They raise the flag themselves, negotiate until people are convinced, and accept the risk of failure that takes the courage to be disliked. Beyond that lies a rarer stage, the self-transforming type. Picture two people locked in a bitter dispute. Most of us assume the other side is simply in the way, but a self-transforming person thinks differently. Maybe the conflict exists because I see myself as perfect and blame the other when I too am flawed. Taking full responsibility and being willing to change your own thinking is a very high mental standard. It is the kind of mind that can actually end a conflict rather than feed it. So here, at last, is a cleaner definition of growth. Growth is being able to spend time comfortably in a place that once made you uncomfortable. As your level rises, the things that used to frighten or upset you no longer do. It has almost nothing to do with your skills getting sharper. Teaching skills and raising your consciousness are two different things, and both matter. But if someone asks what it truly means for an adult to grow, the answer is this: the angle from which you interpret the world has quietly risen higher.